Rules the Hells Angels make all members follow. Hells Angels is one of the world's foremost hazardous motorcycle organizations, and its regulations are no laughing matter. To become a member, you must be ready to give up certain things, such as your retirement. Are you qualified to be an angel? Respect the patches. Members of Hells Angels get patches to show their loyalty to the group, which are subsequently affixed to a leather jacket or vest. These patches must be obeyed at all costs. In fact, some members are said to refuse to allow medics to cut through their garments in the event of a medical emergency. Snitches get stitches. Don't ever rat out a fellow member of the club, no matter what type of shady business they're up to. It's not unusual for members to be questioned by authorities. Regardless of what happens, members may never incriminate themselves or the group as a whole. Substance abuse is not tolerated. Although the Hells Angels have a tough guy reputation, not every misconception about the organization is true. The organization has a severe zero-tolerance policy for any type of substance abuse. All contact or use of substances is strictly forbidden, as in the use of needles for pleasure. Always pull over for police. It's normal for the rest of the gang to pull over in solidarity if one of their members is hauled over by authorities. This is not only a show of togetherness, but it also may be used to frighten authorities. If you mess with one angel, expect to mess with all of them. Show up to meetings or else. When it comes to meeting times, the angels are quite stringent. There may be exceptions for illness or job obligations, but canceling a gathering is a poor idea. Attending meetings and activities shows your dedication to and respect for the organization. Merch for members only. Don't wear Angels clothing unless you're in the club. The organization places a high value on official items. Official Hells Angels members are the only ones who may create, distribute, and wear Hells Angels items. Ride or die. After all, Hells Angels is a motorcycle club. Every year, members of the organization ride an average of 20,000 kilometers. If you can't keep up with your fellow members on the road, you should give up your leather vest and call it quits. Don't ask how you can join. Do you want to be an angel? Unfortunately, the club doesn't welcome queries. According to their FAQ section, if you have to ask, you probably will not understand the answer. You can't be connected to law enforcement. Given their closeness to illegal activities, it's no wonder that the Angels reject any members with links to the government. If you've ever worked as a police officer or in a jail, you're disqualified from membership. Even if you've merely ever looked for jobs in the sector, you're still out. They don't ride in a random order. If you've ever seen a group of Angels members riding their bikes down the street, you'll note how evenly spaced and organized they are. The sequence in which the riders are arranged represents seniority. The president and road captain usually ride at the head of the formation, while new meat rides near the back. Keep your mouth shut. Because one of the Angels' beliefs is to avoid communicating with the media at all costs, the general public only knows so much about them. According to Julian Scher, an investigative reporter who's been following the group since the year 2000, the Angels have a rigid strategy when it comes to keeping their operation hidden. It's part of their secrecy and, to some degree, security, he explained. Harleys only. Because the Hells Angels are a motorcycle club, it's hardly surprising that members must possess a bike. But not just any bike. It's customary for members to ride a Harley-Davidson. Other brands like Buell, which is owned by Harley-Davidson, are permissible. No ladies. Unfortunately, women are barred from joining the club. Women linked to the gang, even if they're not formal members, must remain loyal and follow the anticipated lifestyle. In any case, don't mess with a lady close to the Angels because you never know who she has on her side. Consent is crucial. Women are not permitted to enter the club, but Angels must respect their bounds. Sexual assault has a zero-tolerance policy. Members' actions should always reflect well on the group. Stick to the dress code. If you want to play an angel, you must wear the role. The organization has a rigorous clothing code: black pants, black shirt, and black vest. Shorts are not permitted. It's up to a vote. Acceptance into the club is a difficult procedure that involves numerous rounds of membership. Men must be voted in by the rest of the club to go to the final phase. The procedure might take years. Don't link their website without permission. You may not connect to the Hells Angel website, whether you're a member or not, unless you've received clear written authorization from the organization. You may not establish and/or operate links to this website without the prior written consent of the Hells Angels Motorcycle Club. The statement says, such consent may be withdrawn at any time at the sole discretion of the Hells Angels MC. Angels only. Don't even consider joining another gang after you've been accepted into the organization. Never combine your support for the Hells Angels Motorcycle Club with other clubs, street gangs, or others if you're unaware of the relationship between those others and the Hells Angels Motorcycle Club. The website states, no apostrophe. You may have observed that there's no apostrophe in the organization's name, but this is on purpose. The site asks, missing apostrophe in Hells Angels? Yes, we are aware that an apostrophe is missing, but it's you who are missing it. No, we don't. Angel for life. An angel is always an angel. You'll never be able to retire. There's no such thing as a retired or undercover Angels member, and there never has been. There are a handful of our brothers who are unable to associate with us due to our government and its parole requirements. Keep that in mind before joining the club. You need the right personality. You must have the correct personality to fit in with the rest of the club if you want to become an angel. Those wishing to join a motorbike gang are likely to share similar interests with those who are already connected with the Hells Angels, so it won't be difficult to establish some common ground. That being said, there are a number of factors you should be aware of before deciding to join. Celebrity bonds. The Hells Angels have a long history of celebrity ties. They've previously collaborated with performers such as Jerry Garcia, Allen Ginsberg, and Ken Kesey. HAMC has also been linked to bands such as the Beatles and the Rolling Stones. Hells Angels brand. Hells Angels has evolved into more than simply a motorbike club. HAMC broadened its brand by creating items such as coffee cups, t-shirts, and yoga trousers. Sonny Barger, the HAMC CEO, has his own range of branded goods. Free security. Would you cross the Hells Angels? A free Rolling Stones performance was once secured by the Hells Angels Motorcycle Club. In exchange for free beer, the club monitored the Altamont celebration in December 1969. Hells Angels versus the Rock Machine. The Rock Machine, like Hells Angels Motorcycle Club, is a worldwide motorbike club but considered smaller than the Hells Angels. From 1986 until 2002, the Rock Machine were notable Hells Angels competitors. The Quebec Biker War continued for years after the Rock Machine's commander was imprisoned. They partied with the Beatles. The Beatles and Hells Angels are both up for a good time. When George Harrison met some HAMC members in the United States, he invited them to a celebration in the United Kingdom. This became the founding tale of the Hells Angels chapter in the United Kingdom. HAMC inspired many movies. Motorcycle clubs were the focus of intense public scrutiny throughout the 60s and 70s. Filmmakers capitalized on the trend by producing films with HAMC in the title, such as Peter Fonda's The Wild Angels or Nicholson's Hells Angels on Wheels. They're everywhere. Although the Hells Angels Motorcycle Club was founded in America, it spread internationally with the exception of the Netherlands, where it's prohibited. Their charter includes over 29 nations. Racism prevails. Hells Angels is a historically white-only illegal motorcycle organization. This position has softened over the years, particularly in chapters outside the United States, but Hells Angels remains an organization that favors Nazi symbology and aligns itself with organizations such as the Aryan Brotherhood. Close brotherhood. It's difficult to be positive when you and your buddies are always being watched by the authorities. Hells Angels keep in touch through operating a variety of legal enterprises, such as a shop in Toronto. The club regularly raises money for causes such as Toys for Tots. Sons of Anarchy is loosely based on Hells Angels Motorcycle Club. This fake TV show is based on the Hells Angels. Many of the events shown in the program occurred in real life, and the show's creator, Kurt Sutter, even cast several authentic Hells Angels members. Sutter even employed a real-life member, David LaBrava, as his technical advisor. Lennoxville Massacre. 5 members of the North Laval, Quebec chapter were killed by members of the Montreal and Nova Scotia chapters in 1985. Because of their partying habits, the victims were viewed as high-risk members. They were invited to a meeting at the Lennoxville clubhouse where 41 members murdered them and disposed of their remains in a nearby river. The most famous ex-leader. Maurice "Mom" Boucher is one of the most infamous HAMC ex-leaders. During the 8-year Quebec Biker War, he served as interim president of the Montreal chapter. Boucher is a convicted killer and drug trafficker who is a renowned white nationalist. When the Lennoxville Massacre occurred, he was in command. Waco Biker Shooting. On May 17, 2015, the Waco Biker Shooting occurred at the Twin Peaks restaurant in Waco, Texas. Several motorbike clubs had gathered to discuss motorcyclist rights. When someone's foot was reportedly driven over in the parking lot, a brawl erupted. By the time the police arrived, 9 people had died and 18 had been seriously injured. Justified violence. Violence is always justified in the Hells Angels perspective. Some club members refuse to follow the criteria outlined in the American Motorcycle Association rulebook, instead creating their own set of rules and regulations. Biker gangs make up 2.5% of all gang members in the U.S. Although biker gangs appear to be leaders in the U.S. crime circuit, they make up only 2.5% of the entire gang population. Biker clubs are able to operate beneath the radar because the FBI focuses its efforts on street gangs and prison gangs. Lots of veterans. Hells Angels' initial members were World War II veterans. The club's name was inspired by the Hells Angels Squadron of Flying Tigers. It can also be traced back to Howard Hughes' iconic aircraft combat picture, Hells Angels. Death Head Logo. The Hells Angels' official Death Head emblem, designed by Frank Sedilek, past president of the San Francisco chapter, is their most recognizable mark. Death Head patches are sewn onto their leather or denim jackets to show their allegiance. They sued Disney and won. In 2007, the HAMC sued Walt Disney for attempting to mention the club in Wild Hogs. After Disney guaranteed the Angels that the reference would be deleted, the complaint was dropped. A similar problem occurred when Alexander McQueen, Zappos, and Saks Fifth Avenue. Sometimes they take the legal route. Although the HAMC is essentially an unlawful organization, it doesn't mean they always stay out of trouble with the law. When people or companies utilize their brand, name, or likeness without authorization, the Angels call in the big guns. 1%ers. The Hells Angels are by far the most well-known motorcycle club, but that's because there aren't many of them to begin with. The majority of those engaging in unlawful outlaw biker club operations are referred to as 1%ers, since the other 99% of the riding club membership are just groups of people who like riding motorbikes. Chain of command. HAMC, like every other club, follows a tight line of command. The Angels have presidents, vice presidents, and treasurers who handle the club's more business-oriented aspects. Everyone in the club has a distinct position. Creative nicknames. When it comes to your biker moniker, the sky's the limit. Typically, your nickname is how other members of the club refer to you. Members are given nicknames based on random qualities. For example, one HAMC member is known as Graybeard because he has a large gray beard. Hand signals. Motorcycle riders have an unspoken code of respect. Members of motorcycle groups wave to one another in a special fashion by extending their hand low rather than high. They also utilize hand signals to alert one another about speed traps, police, or other traffic hazards. Safety in numbers. Motorcycles are 27 times more likely than passenger automobiles to be involved in a fatal collision. Biker clubs can increase their visibility by riding in big groups, reducing the likelihood of an accident. Back in time. Motorcycle clubs have existed for over a century. The first motorcycle club was established in 1903, called the New York Motorcycle Club. NYMC merged with other groups to become the Federation of American Motorcyclists. Patches versus colors. Different patches imply different things to different clubs. Colors, on the other hand, are often comprised of 3 patches: a top rocker with the club's name, the club logo in the center, and a bottom rocker depicting the club's region. Sports bikes aren't enough. A sports bike will not suffice if you want to join a motorcycle gang. A motorbike is essential to join the HAMC, as proven by every photograph of the club. Please accept my apologies to any BMX riders out there. Full patch status. It might take a long time to obtain full patch membership or a full set of colors. A rider might spend months or years as a prospector, putting miles on their bike and winning the trust of their brotherhood. Separate language. The HAMC, like many other societies, has evolved its own language, which frequently includes obscene euphemisms. One of the more viewer-friendly instances is a member referring to someone as an RUB, or rich urban biker. This is a means of mocking them. Law-abiding citizens, mostly. It's no secret that biker gangs all around the world have a bad image. The great majority, though, are law-abiding citizens. Only a tiny number of clubs are considered outlaw biker clubs. During the workday, most clubs, such as the Iron Medics EMS Motorcycle Club, live quite regular lives. Tattoos are important. Members of motorcycle clubs, such as the HAMC, are very proud of their organizations. Getting tattoos is one method for members to demonstrate their devotion to the group. Tattoos are a popular way for motorcyclists to show their allegiance, especially in outlaw motorcycle gangs, where members may be compelled to remove tattoos when they leave the group. There are female biker gangs. Although women are not legally permitted in Hells Angels, they have created their own way to signify sisterhood. Women motorcyclists have formed ladies-only motorcycle clubs around the United States. The Motor Maids were the first female motorcycling club, founded in 1941. How many members? Hells Angels have amassed a sizable membership since its inception in 1948. It's believed that there are 2,500 Hells Angels members worldwide, spread among 230 chapters or branches in 29 countries. McCook Outlaws. The first illegal motorbike gang was created decades ago. They were known as the McCook Outlaws. They were created in 1935. The club is currently simply known as the Outlaws. They've been operating for 85 years, so their 100th anniversary will be here sooner than you think. Warlocks. The Hells Angels are not the most vicious of the biker gangs. The Warlocks have such a bad reputation that many of their rival clubs refuse to acknowledge them. The gang is known for its severe brutality and drug trafficking. The Highwaymen. With a membership of roughly 200, the Highwaymen would be no match for Hell's Angels or the Outlaws. Their past, though, is violent. Murder and cocaine trafficking have been introduced to Motor City by the Highwaymen. Black Pistons Motorcycle Club. The Outlaws' support club is the Black Pistons. A support club exists simply to cope with the nasty job that even a 1% gang will not do. On behalf of their father gang, Black Pistons trade narcotics or eliminate adversaries. Bandidos Motorcycle Club. The Bandidos are one of America's largest gangs. Despite the fact that it's only been established for a little more than 60 years, the gang has a presence in 16 states and 14 countries. They're one of the Big Four motorcycle clubs, along with the Pagans, Hells Angels, Outlaws, and Bandidos, according to the federal authorities. Pagans. Pagans started off as a peaceful club. However, in the 1970s, Commander John Satan Marin infiltrated the group with organized crime. Despite their modest membership, the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms considers them to be one of the most hazardous motorcycle clubs.